and capitalism, for-profit healthcare.
They always just like do that. They're like, capitalism, racism, and the patriarchy is why we should stay fat. Like, doesn't it feel like that? I swear. I swear. There's like nothing left. There's no brain cells left. It's all glycated.
Fascism, patriarchy.
What did I fucking say? Oh my goodness. I wanna tell you that I love you.
We interrupt this program for an important news announcement.
Hey guys, so right before I was going to post this video for members first, I finally hit 5,000 subscribers, and I wanted to thank you guys very much for, being here and subscribing and getting me to this point. I never thought it was going to happen. I never thought that I was going to get to like 5K. I thought I was just gonna like fart around, like 3K, just like a little side project, a little hobby, a little chitty chatty with my friends. And here we are at 5K and growing. That's really cool. So as a special gift / thank you to you folks, God, I'm old. Anyway, as a special thank you, I am going to be doing a giveaway, and the prize will be announced next Friday on my next video. So check the description for the, I guess, like the raffle entry. I don't know. It's a Google Doc. You can only try and enter it once, so don't mess up your username or your email address. I think it's making you do your email address. So don't screw up anything, because you can only enter once. But anyway, I will be giving the winner a choice of the 3 t-shirt decals that I created, and then another like special gift and like a card and all that jazz. But thank you. All right, bye. Good morrow, everybody. My name is Robin, also known as Sunny Side Up Gal, and you are my Sunny Side Up pal. Good morning, good morrow, and good day. If you are new here, thank you so much for stopping by my channel. Please consider giving me a subscribe and go ahead and like the video, because we know you're gonna like the video. And if it's giving you the option.
Oh, I heard they recently decided to add more hops to it.
If it's giving you the option to hype it, go ahead and hype the video, because me trying to grow the channel. Okay? It's very helpful. Thank you. If you are not new here and you're a returning subscriber, I really appreciate you. Thank you so much for coming back every single week to watch me chat and chit. But I really do appreciate you. And if you are a member, oh my gosh, thank you for coming by, because I usually do members first. If you're not a member, check the link below and become a member. For $2 a month. You get an extra episode. This weekend's episode, just to give you a little sneak peek, it is going to be in regards to Pride Month. Happy Pride, by the way. Happy Pride. It is going to be about Pride Month. I was LOLing when I found this article, so I will be reading the article. That's why it's going to be on members only, because there's like a little bit of like copyright stuff with articles. Like you can kind of, I don't know, but it is going to be members only. So check out this weekend's members only if you care to. $2 a month, you guys. You get, for an extra $2, you get an extra 4 episodes, one every weekend. That's pretty chill. That's pretty cool. Today's episode, I was fiddling and fartling, trying to figure out, what am I going to cover? What am I going to do? I couldn't figure out anything. I was like, bitch, you should probably take a nap. Maybe just do a Fat Logic episode. And I was like, I do Fat Logic episodes all the time because I can't figure out anything to cover. I'm working on like a longer form video. I did a longer form video last weekend, but I was like, I gotta be committed. I don't want to get lazy. Like, let's watch some videos together. So we're gonna do a hashtag, which is basically pretty lazy, but there's still videos. And we're gonna chit, we're gonna chat, and we're gonna talk a little trash. Okay, this hashtag that we're gonna do is, well, it's not really a hashtag, it's more like a keyword. But the keywords that I'm gonna be looking up are fat genocide. Fat genocide. Jenna's side.
My friend Jenna loves you, and she's currently fighting with her boyfriend right now and could use your support. Can you say I support genocide? I don't know what y'all are talking about, but you know what? Girl code. I support genocide.
Bruh.
Jenna, I hope you're okay.
Okay, you guys, which is fucking wild. So the fat acceptance movement has picked up another term or word to misappropriate, and that word is genocide. So I took it upon myself to do a keyword search on Instagram, which is actually pretty difficult on the computer. I had to mess around with the URL versus like actually searching in Instagram. I don't know. And we've seen a reel using this term a few months ago, but I took it upon myself to do a keyword search on Instagram and a little bit of a dive. Not much of a dive, because we're just going to be reacting to videos of people who use this in their captions, or the way that keyword searches work on Instagram. Somebody has to use it in their captions, or somebody has to use it in the comment section. It's so bananas. So a brief rundown: the fat acceptance community believes, well, not everybody, because they don't have the same brain, like they're not a monolith, I get it, but a lot of people in the fat acceptance community believe that weight loss is genocide. And let's look up the definition of genocide really quickly. All right, so from Merriam-Webster, genocide, a noun, the deliberate and systemic destruction of a racial, political, or cultural group. Cambridge Dictionary. The crime of intentionally destroying part or all of a national, ethnic, racial, or religious group by killing people or other methods. So, would you say that weight loss is a form of genocide? I would say not, because nobody is dying. I mean, more people are dying from obesity than they are of weight loss. Is it okay for us to say that obesity is like thin person genocide? I don't know, you guys. I don't know. But what irks me about this is because there is an actual very serious genocide going on in our world right now. And so the use of genocide to kind of like knee jerk and get people to pay attention to the to the fat acceptance movement, it feels really fucking icky to me. And it kind of feels evil. I don't know. That sounds really weird. I don't know. Because people are literally dying.
There's people that are dying.
And fat people are dying like on their own. And weight loss is not, like, just the idea that people would say that weight loss is genocide just feels so, and I get this every time I do an episode. Every time I do an episode, it always feels like mumble bumble bullshit. It feels like I don't live in, like, it feels like I have to enter a mirror land and like live in non-reality with these people to just react to their stuff. Because how could you say that weight loss is genocide when the definition of genocide is like a crime? Like, it is a crime to commit these atrocities to these particular ethnic, religious, or cultural groups. Like, you losing 10, 15, 20, 30, 100 pounds is not the same as somebody killing your entire family because you're not the same race or culture or religion as them. It is bananas, and it's offensive. Honestly, it is offensive, and I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. Let's jump in. We're gonna chat. We're gonna talk a little trash about these people, right? So this was the first occurrence where I saw a person of size, a fat person, a person who is of obesity, claim that weight loss or GLP-1 medications is a form of genocide on fat people, and their name is McKenna. They are apparently a comedian, stand-up comedian. I couldn't find this on their page, but this is somebody reacting to this. Let's do a quick rundown, and then I've got other things to show you, and then we'll hit up the hashtag, okay?
That Ozempic and these weight loss drugs are trying to exterminate fat people. They want to get rid of us.
We're all in agreement that that's fucking insane, right?
Yes, we are. This person is actually talking positively against fat acceptance. Let me watch. Somebody had her entire thing. Hold on a second.
It's all the same thing. They're trying to exterminate fat people. They want to get rid of us. It's all white supremacy. Fat phobia is racism. They're so excited that they found a...
Fat phobia is racism, yet, like, I hate the idea of using, so they always do this, dude. It's like fat people cannot just be like, no, I just want to be fat. They have to be like, no, you can't say I can't be fat, because if you do, it's racist, or it's a genocide, or it's ableist. It's just like, no, if you just want to be fat, just tell me you want to be fat. You don't have to like pile on all this other stuff like, well, I'm fat. Like, fat is nothing's wrong with being fat. Fat is completely healthy. Being fat phobic makes you a bad person. Being fat phobic makes you racist. If you're fat phobic, you are an ableist. I'm fat because I'm disabled, not the other way around. I don't know. Now they want to say that that telling people to lose weight is genocide. I don't know. It's banana bonkers. It's banana bonkers to me. It is nonsensical, it is non-science, and it is offensive. But they always want to do that. They want to do something like they can't just like, if you want to be fat. Don't appropriate other things like racism, or like don't steal other people's misfortunes, I guess. Is that the right word that I'm looking for? I don't know, you guys. I guess I'm super tired still. But don't steal or like take other people's misfortunes, or and take them as your own. Like, they always do that. They go into these other social or cultural groups, and they take their ideas and kind of switch things around, when in reality it's just like, no, you have an unhealthy body type. Like, not unhealthy, like obviously if you have cancer, you're unhealthy, but like, you have a body type that is self-induced, and you are trying to normalize it. And the way that you're trying to normalize it is by taking other people's struggles and putting them on as like a mask and using them as your own. So like, let's normalize obesity by saying thriving for weight loss is fat phobic, which is also racist, and that makes you a bad person. So then people are too afraid to like fight back or talk against fat phobia, or sorry, fight back or talk against obesity. And how can it be racist if like 72% of the country is fat, and most of the people in the majority of the people in the country are white? It's like, the majority of the people in the country are fat, and the majority of the people in the country are white. Actually, you know what, you guys? Let's get into statistics. Let's get into statistics. Okay. Obesity rate by race. So 72% of our country, the USA, is fat or obese. Non-Hispanic whites make 58 to 60% of the country. Their non-Hispanic whites' obesity, overweight rate is also around 70%. So, you know, mathological, if we had 100 Americans in a room, random Americans, right? That represented the population of the planet, of the country. 72% of them would be overweight or fat, and like 40 of those 72 would be white. So a larger portion of the fats in this country are white, and that's statistics. That's just math. So I don't see it as racist. I don't even think that obesity is a cultural thing in the modern, like, it's only cultural because we're trying to make it that way, but I don't see obesity being like a culturally Black thing or a culturally Hispanic. Sorry, I personally don't see I don't equate fatness to Blackness. I don't see that. Like, that's weird to me, because because I view obesity or fatness as like a disease or an unhealthy thing, it's avoidable. If you were to tell me that being anti-fat is being anti-Black, that means that you think that Black people or people of color are just naturally prone to disease and like unhealth, which feels racist to me. I don't think I'm the only person who thinks that, though. I really don't. I don't think that that's too out of the bag to say. Saying that anti-fatness is racist because fatness is Blackness, or fatness is culturally Hispanic or something like that, it feels like non-science nonsense to me. Because what do you mean? Like where? Where? In the southern United States where most people are fat? Like I just am so confused because it just doesn't make sense to say that. It just doesn't make, I don't know how to say this, you guys. It just doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense to me.
Drug that makes it so we don't exist anymore.
Okay, this is where she believes that this is a genocide because she thinks that taking Ozempic or losing weight means that you're no longer going to exist on the planet, but like you still do exist, you're just in a smaller body. Like common sense, you guys.
Tomorrow, they released a drug that said we cured blackness. If you just take this.
Yeah, I'm not even going to continue to listen to that because it doesn't make sense. It does not make sense. You're born black. You're not born fat. The only way that you can get fat, unless you have like some kind of like pituitary thing or like wili prader or something like that, is because you cannot stop eating shitty food. You can't stop eating food that is bad for you. You can't stop eating in general. You overeat, right? And you're not eating food for your metabolism. Like you're not eating food that is made, like you're not eating in a way that works well for your metabolism. So if you're sedentary and you're eating high calorie, high energy foods, you're going to store that energy. If you're not sedentary and you're a runner and you get to eat those high calorie foods. You get to eat that, that stuff because you're burning that energy. It's banana bonkers to me. So I was looking, like where did people get like the idea to even use genocide to feed their fat narrative? And I came across this, the Fat Underground and the Fat Liberation Manifesto. So let's take a look here, a little skim through. The Fat Underground was an organization that acted as a catalyst in the creation and mobilization of the fat liberation movement. Based in LA in the 70s, the Fat Underground did not fight to change discrimination laws, but rather discriminatory thoughts and practices in different aspects and society. Where the genocide is in this article, with the idea to reform society and not themselves, the Fat Underground utilized this rhetoric. Doctors are the enemy. Weight loss is genocide. This is by Fishman. I think Fishman is the leader of the group. It doesn't say. While colleagues and counterparts in academia and others in the early fat rights movements found this rhetoric harsh and urged the Fat Underground to be less aggressive, they ultimately came to adopt much of the Fat Underground's logic in their respective fields. So people were equating weight loss with genocide in the 70s, which, again, I would respect if somebody was like, I just want to be fat and I love to eat and like, let me show off my food or something like that. I don't know. Whatever they want to do, if whatever their idea of existing is, exist. However, most of them who are like, I'm just existing on this planet and on Instagram and I'm living in a fat body and just existing, but I can't stop getting hate. It's because, there are assholes out there. Yes. But most of the time it's because they're spreading shit like this, right? They're spreading the fact they're spreading that hating fat people is practically a hate crime. And it's, first of all, it's annoying. But second of all, it's not only is it like egregiously false, it's a little disgusting. Like I really would have more respect for somebody if they were just like, nah, I just want to be fat and like I know I'm fat and I'm cool with that and like that's it. Like, I wouldn't even need for them to like admit like I know that I'm unhealthy. Like I wouldn't really need that. But if you just want to be fat and exist, cool, whatever. But the minute you come onto the internet and you have some kind of a platform and you are talking about how fatness is equated to blackness, or fatness is not unhealthy, or fatness is XYZ, obesity is a slur, that's fair game for me to be like, that's stupid, and now I'm gonna pick on you. But yeah, so let's get into the videos. I was looking, so I tried to, it's kind of weird. If you didn't know this, I got rid of my Instagram on my phone and I just use desktop if I need to like do any kind of research or chit chat with my friends. I'm trying to not be on my phone as much. If I need to use the computer, you know, we have a computer lab. It's just like in the early 2000s, you guys remember that? So we have a little computer room. I have my studio. I can go onto my computer and do that. But most of the time, I'm not doing social media as much anymore because, I mean, I socialize with y'all in the comment section and I just text people like a regular person. So, um, but when I was searching on the Instagram on my computer, you can't do like it's very, very limited as far as like keyword searching. I typed in fat genocide and it gave me something completely different. I don't even remember what it was. Hold on. So I typed in fat genocide and it would let me just like continue, just like hit enter. It gives you an option. Here, let me see if I can show you that. It gives you an option. So like I have to search this. We have no fate genocide organ. And so basically what I had to do was just copy the URL and then just like type in the keywords in the URL and then paste that back into the search bar, I guess. I don't know. I had to mess around with it. But anyway, we found it. So now I can do a keyword search on fat genocide. Here, I'll show you. Right up there. Fat genocide. Fat genocide right up here. And we're gonna chit and chat and talk a little trash about a few of these reels. Let's take a look here. Okay, so this is by a person who goes by the name of Sharon Maxwell. I did a video with her recently. Update: I trust the multiple sources who heard directly from the leadership of NEDA that NEDA knew about the AAP guidelines prior to them being released. I cannot confirm that they gave them approval. However, NEDA knew, and I chose to stay silent so that they could stay in good graces with the AAP. They knew. We thought that no ED organization knew about these harmful guidelines, but it turns out NEDA knew all along, and they chose to stay silent about it so that they could have a seat at the AAP's table. They say dieting leads to the development of beating recorders, yet they won't speak up against prescribing diets to fat children. They seem to be okay with fat teenagers having their perfectly functioning stomachs amputated through the bariatric surgery for the sake of lower BMI. They have stated that the BMI isn't an accurate measure of health. It isn't. I have my own opinions about the BMI. I don't think it's the end all be all. There are other things to look at as well. But if your BMI is 45 and you are covered in adipose tissue, like, yeah, let's lower that BMI number. You cannot be an advocate for beating recover. You cannot be an advocate for beating recover. You cannot be an advocate for beating recover. Why can't I say that? You cannot be an advocate for beating recorder recovery and prescribed diets and bariatric surgery for children. Chronic dieting leads to beating recorders. Beating recorders are deadly. NEDA's inaction is complicit with fat genocide. There is no other way to put it. Leave NEDA behind. So listen, I feel like a lot of people forget that there is a particular beating recorder that does require a sort of food plan, a diet, in order for you to kind of get, you know, back on track. It's like they only care about, it's like a lot of people in the fat acceptance community who are in recovery for beating recorders, they only think about pandashrexia and they forget that like fringe beating is an actual thing. Most of them are actually struggling from fringe breeding, from my opinion. You know, that's my allegation. That's what my third eye is telling me, that I'm looking at this person and going, they have a problem with eating way too much. But yeah, a lot of people in my comment sections have mentioned that they've struggled from beating recorders, and part of their recovery was a diet. Like, unfortunately, you know, I get where they're coming, where Sharon Maxwell is coming from, where like it can lead to too much control, and that can kind of lead to some kind of a beating recover in the opposite direction if you go from fringe to like pandashrexia. But pandashrexia is a mental illness, and it's not like, oh, any diet is going to cause pandatrexia, right? Because something has to happen to you in order for that to really, 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 really be a thing, like stress or trauma. So it just feels like, it feels really, I mean, I'm not the most educated person, but this feels very, very much like personal to Sharon. Very, very personal to Sharon, and like not thinking about the entire spectrum of beating recorders and like how important structured dieting can be for particular beating recorders. Okay. I don't really know what the AAP is. Let's see what that is. American Academy of Pediatrics. Okay, I'm a dumbass. All right, NEDA knew and did nothing to prevent AAP from releasing the harmful guidelines to treat childhood obesity. This is crazy. This is crazy. You know that if you start off as a child with obesity, you will most likely be an adult with obesity. I was an adult with obesity. I am an adult with obesity, but I was a child with obesity, and it set me up, I feel like, for failure. I feel like my life was much harder because I had been fat my entire life. And that sucked. Okay, part of the reasons why being a child with obesity is dangerous is because it runs the risk of type 2 diabetes. Type 2 diabetes used to be like an adult only thing. I wonder who the first kid with type 2 diabetes was. Holy shit. Okay, so type 2 diabetes was unheard of in children in the 70s and 80s, and it wasn't until like the 90s, which I'm pretty sure we gotta blame Fruitopia. If you're a 90s kid or like early 2000s, you'll remember what Fruitopia is, but it was literally in all the schools, and like we were kind of like duped into thinking Fruitopia was a healthy drink because it was not a soda. It was literally pure sugar. Anyway, but type 2 diabetes was unheard of in kids until after the 80s. And then the first case of non-alcoholic fatty liver disease in a child was like from the 80s as well. The youngest person to get type 2 diabetes was a 3-year-old who was 77 pounds. So obesity in children is very, very dangerous and scary. You also run the risk, I mean, all of the risks that you get as an adult, you can still get them as a child, right? So like high blood pressure, high cholesterol, fatty liver disease, sleep apnea, breathing problems, joint and bone problems, and earlier puberty in some children. It's a problem, you guys. It is a problem. So the fact that Sharon Maxwell is just, for me, this person is very, very emotional and like personal. So all of her arguments were like, well, it happened to me, XYZ, or that doesn't happen because I don't know anything about it, or something like that. You know what I mean? So clearly, if you're looking at the photo, a picture of her as a child, so she's going, I was a fat child, and the fact that the AAP is saying that childhood obesity is unhealthy, I hate them for that. And I just think that's stupid. I don't know. But anyway, but here she is saying NEDA's inaction is complicit with fat genocide. There's no way to put it, leave NEDA behind. I don't agree. Every time I hear fat genocide, it really does feel like a knee jerk to me. It feels kind of like, what are we talking about? Are we killing fat people in the street? And we're not. We're not. Dumbass. Now, let's get into the reels. All right. So right here we have Dr. Rachel Milner, which we have covered quite a bit on the Chanel in the past. Here's her face. Recognize the rosacea. This person is clearly inflamed because they are obese. Sorry to, make fun of somebody. I'm not really making fun of. I'm making an observation. All right. The amount of money the weight loss industry spends on trying to eradicate fat people. So that's another term. Eradication of fat people is fucking stupid because it's like they're not dying. They're not dying. What's happening with fat people is they're dying on their own terms. They're dying due to complications from obesity, but weight loss or intentional weight loss is not an eradication of a person or a being. It's the loss of fat cells. Like it's the loss of mass. It's the loss of weight. It's the number on a scale, basically, right? Today is Beating Recorder Action Day, and I can't help but imagine how quickly we could eradicate BDs if we had just a fraction of their money. but oh my god, but the weight loss industry only spends the money they do to earn even more back. There's no goodness or altruism in their hearts. Spending that money to eradicate BDs would be able to save lives, lots of them, but it wouldn't earn the pharmaceutical companies any money. Okay, I think she is making a good point there. However, the fat acceptance community is one of the largest consumers of all time, not just in food, but also if you watch a lot of fat acceptance influencers, constant consumers.
On today's episode of If It Look Like You Gonna Finish, Bitch, you better go and get it.
Constantly buying stuff. I think there's a correlation with fringe beating, like people who are obsessed with food and stuff like that, and like a shopping addiction or like just consumption in total.
Super cute. And it has the logo here. This is not the Dyson Airwrap. This is Dreamy Baby. The results of these, they're like the same. I did splurge and I bought the full size of my Tatcha Milky Sunscreen.
My new emotional support water bottle. And then I ordered these little booties off of Amazon. So this is my first Owala bottle.
I would say that when I was, I still have a problem with shopping, but I'm more interested in saving money now. So I'll go without, or I'll just use what I have, right? I don't really shop anymore, but I used to love shopping. And I think they do go hand in hand. Like if you see somebody or somebody with a fringe beating recorder, let me know if you think if they also have a lot of stuff, or like they have a shopping addiction as well, because it is common.
Can you imagine how quickly we could end eating disorders if the money spent to attempt to eradicate fatness was put towards ending eating disorders instead, which are an actual illness, I might add. But here's the thing, the ROI, or return on investment,
which are an actual illness. Like obesity is an actual illness. Like, baby, your face, not to be mean, but this is a face of somebody who is inflamed. If you don't think that, I guess rosacea can just be like a thing, I'm not seeing that being the case with Rachel.
Eradicating or ending eating disorders is people's lives, saving lives. The ROI on—
You know what would save your life? Well, not your life, Rachel. You know what would save lives? Obesity awareness. Yeah. Obesity awareness. More people taking the obesity epidemic seriously, because people are dying every week, every day of obesity related illnesses, obesity complications from obesity. That would save lives. Let's do that. More people join the anti-fat acceptance community, please.
Oh, hell yeah.
On attempting to eradicate fatness is billions of dollars. And
yeah, and the fast food industry is trillions of dollars. Go ahead and pull that up for me, Jamie.
Jamie, can you pull up some help?
Okay. So the fast food industry, not trillions, fast food industry makes 900 billion plus a year globally. Big food makes 340 to 450 billion from the top firms, but overall packaged food makes over 1 trillion globally. And then the diet industry makes 250 to 300 billion annually. Oh, that's global. And 70 to 100 billion in the US. So why are we ignoring the other numbers, I wonder? It's because you're addicted to packaged foods and fast food? Maybe? I don't know Rachel personally, though. That is a speculation and an allegation.
And capitalism, for-profit healthcare.
They always just do that. They're like, capitalism, racism, and the patriarchy is why we should stay fat. Doesn't it feel like that? I swear. There's nothing left. There's no brain cells left. It's all glycated.
Fascism, patriarchy.
What did I fucking say? Oh my goodness.
They care a lot more about the billions of dollars than they do about any person's life.
Oh my God. Can you listen to yourself? Do a Google search on all of the bullshit that people in the fat acceptance community actually consume. They consume over $1 trillion of fast food or just packaged foods. And I'm saying packaged foods, big foods like Coca-Cola, sodas, all that jazz. Because I personally don't believe that, ultra processed foods are doing anything for the health of the globe. I think that ultra processed foods are by nature obesogenic. They're designed that way. They're designed to make you as addicted to them so that you buy more of it, and they're designed to not fill you up so that you eat more of it and continue to buy more of it. It is for-profit fudge sludge, basically. It's for-profit gruel so that you may eat more and more and more of it and get fatter and fatter and fatter, and then they're all in cahoots and in each other's pockets with like pharmaceuticals and like the government and all that jazz. That's a tinfoil hat moment, but again, look up the obesity industrial complex by 5149. I don't know him. James Lee. I think that's his name. Kevin Lee? James Lee? I don't know him. I will link his video below. It's a very, very interesting one. And the video with him and breaking points. It's just interesting. It is interesting. Next. Oh my fucking God. Just as I was talking about hating processed food, the fat sex therapist from 2023 said, hatred of processed food is a vehicle for fat hate. Are you stupid or are you dumb? Your hatred of processed food is a vehicle for your hatred of fat, poor people, not because that's the only food fat or poor people eat, but it's the stereotype and conflation. This is why fat phobia is a race and class conversation. Do you actually feel better from your restriction? Yes, I do. The fact that I don't eat processed food anymore, I feel like $1 million. I feel like $1 million.
I feel like $1 million.
Anytime that I do have like processed food, I don't feel great after. And people are like, well, it's because you don't eat it as often. Yeah, well, does that mean that you guys are just always feeling like crap, or did you just like assimilate? Like, is it, I'm so confused. Is it like breaking in a bra where the bras are super uncomfortable first and then you feel better with them? I don't see the point. I feel like naturally, instinctually, if something makes you feel bad, like don't have that again. Right? Not because only food are okay. Do you actually feel better? Yes. Or is it the praise you get from your disordered, or is it the praise that you get from your recorded meeting? No, I don't have any friends. Nobody is praising me for not eating ultra processed foods. I also don't announce it quite often, except for now. So I just announced it. So make sure you guys praise me in the comments below, okay? No, this is not a meme about disabled folks who use medically necessary diet modification to treat disease. Okay, also, this is the person who was sticking up for Bill Cosby, by the way.
We could create a world where, in an idyllically sex-positive world, someone is able to pay conscious women to come and be drugged so that I can get my kink out, my fetish on having sex with unconscious people.
Disgusting! That's disgusting behavior. I don't know how Sonali still has a fucking platform. I don't know. This one is from a guy, which I don't really cover quite often.
Coming from a nurse, there are significantly more people who are overweight, fat, than are underweight.
Period. And it's a problem. It's an epidemic.
Okay.
Please, God, don't let me ever be treated by this person.
I think graphically Alex covers this guy quite a bit. Or maybe he just sends me. Maybe he just sends his memes to me.
How are they a nurse? My understanding is that nursing was a calling and that people felt compassion and that they wanted to help. So
yeah, so wouldn't you like see people who are of size or have obesity and want to help them and like bring awareness to the dangers of obesity? I'm pretty sure that's what that gal is doing.
I mean, what's gone wrong for this person?
What do you mean what's gone wrong? She lives in reality? What's gone wrong with you? What has gone wrong with you?
Why do they think that is such a ridiculous, laughable thing?
I don't know if they're I mean, I didn't watch that full video of the other lady, but like I just don't think that I don't think that's the case. I think it is, like me, I think a lot of people out there do try to like raise awareness, but they try to make it a little bit more digestible with some humor or some, jabbing, joking around. Maybe that's what she was doing, trying to make it a little bit more lighthearted so that people weren't like frightened.
You're telling me that she would treat her patients, fat or thin, the same, and yet she can't even describe a fat person without being rude.
The first thing we're going to tell you is diet and exercise.
Because what, a fat person's never heard of those things. How do you think fat people get fat? You diet. You diet.
So I don't think that fat people get fat from dieting. I think that fat people get fat from their diet, meaning like what they eat, their intake, which is usually you guys, I know that you guys hate when I kind of like trash about carbs, but a sedentary lifestyle and insulin resistance, and you're eating a lot of carbs. But also the calories, like you're eating just way too fucking much. You're eating way too much. Way too much and way too often. You gotta let that those glycogen stores, deplete, and you gotta let that insulin baseline.
And it makes you fat. And then your metabolism's shot. It doesn't just bounce back.
God, where is this person fucking getting? It's all parroted. It's all parroted. You diet and then your metabolism gets shot. Like, no, your metabolism kind of just like stays the same and you can manipulate it, right? If you have a slow metabolism, you need to eat a diet that is appropriate for that metabolism. That's if you have one. If you do, not everybody has, not everybody has the same metabolism. I have Hashimoto's and PCOS. My metabolism is slower than probably somebody who's a runner, right? What do? I eat less often and I eat a diet that works for my body, that works for insulin resistance. I'm not insulin resistant anymore, but I still eat like not like an asshole around sugar or carbs. Like I know that I'm unapologetically sedentary, and I know that I should change that. But for now, I'm just eating a diet that works for my sedentary lifestyle.
Fat phobia is so multifaceted. There's so many things at play with fat phobia. So I'm not saying it's bad to get fat at all, but it is idiotic to recommend to fat people to get thin by doing.
Speaking of idiotic, this person is sounding like an idiot. It's idiotic to prescribe a diet to somebody who's suffering from obesity. If you're in an obese body, you are suffering. If you are in an obese body, you are suffering.
That makes you fat. Do you see what you're prescribing people?
It's so crazy because I wonder, because he's like, do you see what's going on here? Do you see what's wrong?
Do you see?
Like he's so sure that he's right, but anybody with 2 brain cells can look at this guy and be like, what are you talking about?
Do you see? Please no.
Like, I'm so confused.
And how kind of circular and nonsensical that is. Someone comes to you as fat, you tell them to go on a diet, it makes them fatter.
No, not if they stuck to it and they did a diet that works for them. The best diet is the diet that works for you guys, as long as you're not hurting yourself or others. But the best diet is the one that you will stick to. So if this is a diet that you cannot stick to, you need to try another. And I'm not selling anything, but the best diet that's worked for me for the last 8 years was the ketogenic diet. Yes, it did.
They come to you as fatter, you tell them to go on a diet. This person obviously doesn't seem particularly interested in helping anyone. That's what this video tells me in a screenshot sort of moment. This is not someone I would feel safe to going for kind of medical help. I dread to think of the fat patients that she might be coming across.
Dude, when people are like, I don't think I would feel safe going to this doctor because they might tell me that I'm fat, I need to go on a diet. Do you just like not want to be on the planet for very long? Like, do you want to die younger? Like, that's so crazy to me. I mean, you know what you're gonna do. You know what you want. You want to be fat, right? This guy clearly wants to stay fat. It's very strange to me. There's literally a veil of like, I'm not in the same dimension as everybody else. I'm going to believe what I want to believe. I don't feel safe around anybody who says that being thinner is better than being fatter, or says that fat people should go on a diet. It's weird to me.
Day in, day out. This is super worrying. And it's also such a good example. The only good thing about it is it's a great example for people who don't believe about medicalized fat phobia, because this person, who is a bedside nurse, absolutely cannot treat fat and thin people equitably. Just not thinking the other person is human enough, properly enough. How are they going to give their best care or even equitable care? This is such a common attitude. I know this person's American, but I believe it happens all over the world. People who are taking care of sick people having these prejudices and these bigoted thoughts whilst they're supposed to be helping people. People are in their very worst moment. No, thank you. I wouldn't want this woman's help.
Yeah, if you were in your worst moments, like actually dying, I don't think that this lady would bring up the fact that you were obese. Like, we're still taught, I mean, I'm not in the medical industry anymore, but like fat people, no, people in the medical industry are still taught bedside manner, right? Like manners, you know, appropriate, when's the appropriate time to bring up somebody's weight? I think that people are still taught that, but.
What if your perception of who is part of the obesity epidemic is wrong? My name is Amanda. I'm a PhD candidate in sociology, and I study medical fat phobia. So something that I see quite frequently is people talking about how, 40% of the United States is part of this so-called obesity epidemic. Or they'll say 70%, because they're including overweight people, are part of this obesity epidemic.
Yeah, don't you think that's crazy though? 40% is almost 50% of the population.
Now, mind you, we're throwing out and not talking about the reality that BMI is a very bad measure of body size and body composition.
Yeah, but regardless of the BMI, take away the people who are maybe even borderline, that's still a huge number of people who are visibly fat. Visibly fat.
But when we're talking about this quote unquote obesity epidemic, I want you to picture in your mind who you think is part of that epidemic and the body that you would think of when you think of the word obese.
Me, maybe even a little bit bigger, but because I'm on my way out, I'm on my way out of obese and I'm almost to the overweight category, but me, I think I kind of smell what she's stepping in. Like, I think obesity is becoming normalized. So somebody will look at me who is 176 pounds and be like, "You're obese." And I'll be like, "Yeah, I'm 5'4" and I weigh 176 pounds. That's obese technically, right? But I do have excess fat on my body.
Did that. Now I want you to Google the word obesity and tell me, does what you think in your head represent the images and the bodies that you see on your Google search? And if it does, only 9.2% of Americans actually have a body type that fits that amount.
Okay, so I've done a Google search of obesity and it is people who are larger than me. So I don't really know what she's trying to say. Is she trying to say that obesity is like most people see obesity much larger? Then they're just not educated in what real obesity is.
If you look at, there's a lot of data out there that you can use, but recently from 2017 to 2018 data from the National Health and Nutrition's Examination Survey found that 30.7% of US adults are in the overweight category. 42.4% of US adults are in that obesity category. And then 9.2% of US adults are within that severe obesity.
Oh, so she made an assumption. She thought when she asked, I want you to think of somebody who is obese, who is in the obese category, that we were all gonna think that. We were all gonna think of this person.
My son! Give me my son!
So she made an assumption that was incorrect, because when you guys thought in your head of an obese person, what did you think of? Because I feel like most of us, I feel like if you're here, most of you know, you've studied the BMI chart, or you know like what obesity, like even early stages of obesity, like class 1. Class 1 obesity appears to be normalized by American culture and it needs to be stopped. It's just a stepping stone to get to class 2, then to 3, then severe, then morbid, and it's just, I don't know, severe and morbid the same thing, I don't know. But it's got to stop, and she's clearly feeding that as well. She's like trying to normalize it.
Obesity category. Let's problematize all that language, because that also is really pathologizing individuals when disease.
It is a pathology. I mean, obesity is pathological, right? Yeah. Pathological means relating to or caused by disease or showing abnormal functioning or behavior that indicates disease process. Obesity or being in an obese body is pathological.
Disease may not be there. Also, really important is 17.7% of US adults are in that normal or underweight category. And something that I think is really interesting, and I think
that's crazy to think that under less than 20% of the United States is normal or underweight. That's kind of crazy. We have to change that, you guys. We really do.
Clap if you care.
Is really important is that the imagery that we see or we think of as a representative of this epidemic is not the reality of the bodies that are actually being thrown into this kind of discourse and pathologized. And I think it's really important to have everyone reevaluate the perception of who is part of this epidemic and the reality that the vast majority of Americans are thrown into this, which to me tells me that this is an unattainable ideal.
No, it's not. It's not. It's the only reason why I feel like it's unattainable, or sorry, the only reason why I feel like it's hard, or it feels like it is unattainable, or it feels impossible, is because the systems that be, powers that be, and the food industry make it difficult. I mean, convenience is sold to us. Convenience is so difficult to turn down because we're lazy and we can't wait for shit anymore. But like, I mean, we get everything Amazon ordered to us, and then fast food is fast, and ultra processed food comes already cooked. You don't have to cook it, right?
And that body diversity is.
Oh, as far as it being an unattainable body, tell that to the millions of people, or tell that to the thousands of people who attained it, who went from super morbidly obese to like a healthier body style or a healthier body. It's giving give up culture. It's giving like, I'm a PhD, I'm gonna be a doctor. I'm gonna, I'm this educated person, listen to me, and let me tell you how the future is going to be from now on. We're going to stay fat. Anybody who's not in a fat body, they're living in an unattainable body size. And I wonder, let's see if they bring up fascism, control, or patriarchy.
Is very much part of the United States and the world. And again, I think it's very important that we try to change the perception of who the people are that are being thrown into this epidemic. And also, because we perceive the highest weight people as the face of it, what type of stigma?
I did not perceive the highest weight people as the face of obesity. But again, I mean, I look at like, I understand the spectrum of obesity. Like we've all seen it, you know what I mean? I've been class 1 obese for way too long, and I'm tired of it, basically. But I don't think of that as I don't even think that I'm the face of obesity. I'm the face of obesity. When I think of obesity, I don't think of super morbidly obese. I think of us like a normal, see, it's normal. Just like people I see at my grocery store all the time, maybe 50 pounds heavier than me, like where I was at before, 220 pounds, 300s. Yeah, I don't think when I think of the majority of people being obese, it's somebody maybe 220 or more, right? Before the severe or morbid obesity.
Are they experiencing because of that?
Yeah, she clocked us wrong, guys. I mean, when you guys thought of obese, did you think of morbidly obese, or did you think of like accurate, like a smaller fat? I didn't really, because I just know that, because we don't see a lot of, I mean, I see a new 400 or 500 person like once a year, but I do live in the South in the United States, which is very well known for being obese. And when I think of obesity, I think of somebody who's like close to 300 pounds, maybe a little less, right? Because that's obese.
You probably think you're completely immune to dehumanizing somebody.
Oh my god. All right, hi, fat person here. Just a reminder, there are worse things than being fat, but when that's all you're concentrating on, your friends can hear you.
Turns out.
Okay, I kind of hate. I don't like the colors, but I kind of hate that I love her glasses. I love stained glass, and that's such a cool look. But anyway.
You might be doing it without even realizing it. When you hear immigrants described as an infestation or trans people get called groomers, that's not just offensive language. It's a deliberate tactic. Because once your brain stops seeing someone as...
Oh my god. Now we're bringing immigration and trans rights into the fat acceptance community. Okay, let's take a look.
fully human, it stops caring what happens to them. That's how you get ordinary people to do extraordinary harm.
She's making a great point, by the way. This is factual.
You don't call them people, you call them bodies. Illegals. And suddenly your brain processes what you're doing as paperwork instead of cruelty. But here's where I'm going to lose some of you.
I mean, we say fat people all the time, though. I'm so confused.
Dehumanizing language doesn't become okay when it's aimed at someone who has done shitty things. For instance, if the worst thing you can...
Is she defending Donald Trump? That's the craziest thing that I've seen the fat acceptance community do is like, they're like, no, we have to defend all fats, even Donald Trump. That's funny.
think to call Trump is fat. You just told every fat person in your life exactly what you think of them. His weight isn't the problem. His crimes are. The fraud, the abuse, that's what's worth attacking. The other is just showing people that you think weight is worse than war crimes.
That is like the craziest fucking argument I've seen other creators do the same thing where they're like, can we make fun of Trump without calling him fat? Like, can you just like take the joke, or like, can you just chill? I just feel like there's no chill anymore, you guys. Listen, I think that's all we can do today. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. What did you guys think? What do you guys think about using the word genocide to describe weight loss with fat people in the fat acceptance community? I highly disagree with it. I think it is a disgusting tactic that the fat acceptance community uses to gaslight others into feeling bad for feeling that being in a fat body is wrong or unhealthy. So like, they want to say that you wanting to lose weight or you being anti-fat is you being pro-fat genocide, and they just do that to make people feel bad for them, and all they want to do is just eat as whatever they want basically, and as much as they want. So the fat acceptance community, I'm getting a little sick of it. They're appropriating grief. We saw that in my video last Friday. They're appropriating racism, they're appropriating genocide, and it must be stopped. It must be stopped. Or if not stopped, it must be made fun of. And that's what we're here to do. Anyway, I hope you guys had a wonderful time. If you want, please consider giving me a subscribe. I hope you liked the video, and don't forget to like the video because it really helps me out. Hype it if it's giving you the option to hype, because I'm trying to grow the channel and I'm trying to grow the channel. And if you haven't become a member, consider becoming a member. It's only $2 a month, and you get an extra video every weekend. I try my hardest to make sure to get that for you. $2 a month. Check the link below. Okay? Hope you guys had a wonderful time. Have a great weekend, and I will see you next week. Goodbye.